Hi guys, welcome to Mastering Project Planning channel. So today we are going to break down the step-by-step construction sequence for concrete pipe rack foundation inside an live process plant. So it's oil and gas process unit. So where we are going to discuss about the construction sequence of pipe rack foundation. So we have 8 foundations in this plant which has to be cast inside. So we have 6 isolated footings type and 2 foundation with a combined footing foundation. So we will for this work to be executed in a site, we need to create a project schedule. So what are the first activity we will have for this work? So we need to do a survey, and it's like kind of you may need to do a topographic survey before, and we need to do the survey, and we need to set out the coordinates of this foundation where this foundation we need to mark the coordinate inside the plant. So for that we may need to identify the nearest benchmark, then we need to transfer that coordinates, and we need to mark this location inside. So we will have a survey and setting out, so that could be like a 1 day activity. Then you may also need to do identify some other underground utilities below this foundation. So you need to do the ground scanning, or there is a different equipments available for this. So there is a cable locator, and there is like a ground scanning equipment. So that will give you like where there are some live cables. So it will also show the depth of that particular facility, or if there is some any piping, metallic piping. So that also will identify. Then you need to mark this identification, like there is some live facility over there. So marking has to be there, so that the excavation crew will be cautious when they do the excavation. So as it is a live facility, so we will be going ahead with the manual excavation. So we cannot do a mechanical excavation by excavator, as there are some hazards. So you have some live cables or live pipelines. So then there could be some kind of you don't know the quality of the soil. There could be some contaminated soil due to some oil spills or something. So you will have a survey and setting out activity. So that could be like a 1 day. So then you need to do this manual excavation. So for manual excavation, so example, we can take like this work has to be executed in 5 months time, including the pipe rack structure erection, piping erection, and hydro testing, commissioning, everything. So the civil activities, it has to be completed in 30 days time. So then we need to ensure that this all can be completed. So how do we ensure that? So we will do the manual excavation. Suppose let us assume that there is a 200 cubic meter of excavation to be done. So we know like the soil, it is like you can consider like it's not a hot soil, so it's like a soft soil. So we assume like 2 cubic meter excavation can be done by a person per day. So this we call like a productivity. So 2 meter cube per person per day. So he may work 8 hours time. So suppose we have 10%. So we can excavate 10 into 2, so 20 cubic meter per day. So as our excavation is 200 cubic meter, so it will take 10 days. No, but this has to be done in 5 days. So then you may need to increase the manpower. Suppose we are taking 20 labors. So then 20 into 2, it will be 40. So then for 200 divided by 40, then you can do it in 5 days time. But you may also need to discuss with the piping like a civil engineer or supervisor whether you can deploy this many manpower in that particular location, because sometimes you cannot start all excavation in parallel. So you may need to, suppose you can do the first 2 together, then the last 2 foundations in the same time, then you can go for the next location. So accordingly, so we will have this manual excavation like 5 to 7 days time. So then you may also need to ensure when you are executing this excavation the soil cannot be dumped near to your excavation boundary. So it has to be transported. So you may need a skid loader. Skid loader is like kind of a bobcat. So you may need to transfer the soil because you cannot accumulate more soil near it to your excavation boundary. So this has to be planned by this will be planned by this piping civil supervisor. So then this could be put into your manpower histogram and equipment histogram. So you need 20% for this particular month. So you may need a bobcat. Then for shifting the soil also you may need to have a loader and a dump truck because you cannot stock the soil piles in the process unit. So it has to be shifted outside of the process plant where there will be a soil dumping yard. So you need to shift the soil by the dump trucks. So these are I'm just explaining how it will be executed in the site as well. So once you do the manual excavation, then you once you this excavation also you need to estimate like how much cubic meter. So based on the drawing, you will know the like width and what is the length of the foundation. So what is the deep? But you cannot consider only those quantities because you may need the working space for the crew to work. For the scaffolding, you may need some kind of scaffolding to be placed or some steel fixer has to place. So he needs some working space. So what we should do is like as if the foundation depth is more than 2 meters, then we may also need to have a step cut. You need to do a step cutting or like a benching type you need to provide. Like your width of the foundation should be more in the top of the ground level. This is what we call like a benching or step cutting. We call like this. Why it is required means so this allows like the soil will not cave in or it will collapse. So you may need to follow this as per the safety procedure. So you need to take the quantity in your schedule. So you need to estimate the quantities based on the drawings and this working space. You need to check with the supervisor and this quantity. So then you need to put the productivity and this will give you the duration for that particular foundation. So we have finished with the manual excavation. Then we may have the site inspection by the QC person. So whether the coordinates and the the foundation center line and width and length and depth is so correct. So then you get approval for pouring your blinding concrete. So you will be pouring the blinding concrete so that you may consider like 1 day time or something. So sometimes in the process plant or some they also use a polythene sheet. So this allows like the whatever the moisture in the concrete is not directly going to the soil. So it takes some time. So it allows you to set the concrete well. So then once the this blinding concrete is done, so you can consider like 1 day time for that. Then you will proceed with the steel fixing and the formwork. The same for the steel fixing also. You may need the steel fixer. Then there is also some productivity like based on your reinforced bar size, steel reinforcement like bar size, bar diameter. You may have some kind of productivity. Some for the column footing there will be a separate productivity. Then for the pedestal there will be a separate productivity. So it is like a kg per manpower per day. Then same for the formwork, we call it in you may need the carpenter, so that we call it like meter square per day. So they also can do particular productivity. So it depends upon the what is the formwork material, whether you are going to be using the normal plywood type or there are some specialized Perry type shuttering materials as well, where it could be kind of steel frames or aluminum frames. So accordingly this productivity rate will change. So this everything based on the square meter you can how much square meter, so that based on the productivity you can estimate the duration for the formwork as well. So once the formwork and rebar fixing is done, so then the next activity will be like the footing concrete. So same here, there will be some inspection like whether the spacing of the rebars are correct and it's properly tied with the tie wires, and if there are any uh, pores inside, so that everything they will be checking. So then you get the permission for the concreting of this footing concrete. So you may need to check whether the concrete can be poured by chute, or you may need to use concrete pump. So then everything, like you may need to pour the concrete based on the concrete mixer capacity, so that it is cost effective. So this maybe you can do like 4 footing together or 6 footing together, or so this also like for this footing concretes. So this many duration you can consider like 1 day time. So maybe in this video I have covered up to the footing concrete. So once this footing concrete is done, then we may also have some kind of inspection, like we'll be having some cube test. So it is like 7 days and 28 days, so in order to test the composite strength of the concrete. So during the concrete pouring itself, these cubes will be casted and it will be sent to the laboratory. So this is also one of the activity in the schedule you may consider, like cube test and transportation to the laboratory. So hope you guys understand till this footing concrete. In the next video, I will be discussing about how the pedestal concrete and foundation bolts are placed inside. So stay tuned if you are interested to learn much about project planning inside the various EPC projects you like, and subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys.